Welcome back to the David Pakman Show.
Welcome back to the program. New York Congressman Jose Serrano has introduced a bill to abolish presidential term limits altogether. If you think that he's only doing this because he is a Democrat, not true. He did this when George W. Bush was president, and he also did this back when Bill Clinton was president. This is House, this is H.J. Res 15. It proposes an amendment to the Constitution of the U.S. to repeal the 22nd Article of Amendment, thereby removing the limitation on the number of terms an individual may serve as president. Okay, well, what do you think about this? None of his proposals so far have made it to a House vote. Steny Hoyer, Democrat from Maryland, repeatedly proposed repealing the 22nd Amendment during both Clinton and Bush administrations. Mitch McConnell even sponsored a bill to repeal the 22nd Amendment back in 1995. It would have to be ratified by 3/4 of the states. I actually tend to think we should add term limits for senators and congressmen, not take them away for presidents. But let's go around. Lewis, what do you think of term limits?
This is adding to the problem. This will, it's bad enough when you have a president running for re-election, how distracted they are and the things they do politically just for an advantage in that next election. And now you want to perpetuate that? It's completely ridiculous. Presidents should serve one term. And one term only. If you want to extend that term, that's fine. But this is just adding to the problem.
Natan?
I think that all of the energy that anyone is putting into this should go into campaign finance reform and an amendment that would make Citizens United completely invalid and provide public financing of campaigns. Any energy going into this is totally useless.
I'd be up for considering allowing presidents to serve more than 2 terms. Hold on. Lewis, look at me like I'm crazy. As long as it's not more than 2 consecutive terms, and I would say maybe even just 1. You can't serve more than 1 consecutive term. You get elected, fine. You can't run the next time. You're out. Then after you've been out of power and people have had a chance for someone else, then you have a chance to run again. This could be interesting because if you think back the last 60 years to when we've had consecutive presidents, if you were to have had someone else come in after the first term for every single president over the last 60 years, it's an interesting question. We would have had way more different people in the White House. How many would have been able to come back and get elected for a second term? I think that could actually be positive. I'm totally against simply eliminating term limits, however.
Okay.
And we should add them for senators and congressmen. We don't need career politicians. You serve, then you do something else. Yes, you could first be elected as a congressman, and then maybe you become a senator, and then you could run for president. It could happen, but it's going to completely eliminate this idea of the career politician.
Agree. I'd be fine with what you said, but I think considering the age group we're talking about, it'd be unlikely that someone would, we're talking about, if it's still 4 years,
right?
You know, a 12-year commitment to, I mean, you'd be getting pretty old.
That's another factor.
I think that 2 4-year terms for president is actually a good thing because it allows the country to be able to confirm the direction in which it's going. If you have only 1 4-year term, it'll cause even more politicization as everyone knows that they're going to be able to have some changes at the end of the 4 years. And instead, you would get even shorter political cycles.
Maybe it's 1 6-year term.
Yeah, that would be reasonable.